Hello and welcome to Cosplay Crafts and More. I'm Danielle and today I will be starting the Patriotic Surprise for my mother. But before that, remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. The first thing to do is to gather your materials. If you would like to know the fabric, thread, batting, and all of that, check out the Patterns and Plans video linked below and above, right around here. The machine is already threaded and ready to go with matching thread and bobbin. If you don't know how to do that, check out the sewing machine walkthrough video, also linked above and below in the description.
I will now begin to sew. To start, I am going to cut the blue fabric. I need 5 strips that are 2.5 inches by the length of the fabric. I will also need 3 strips that are 3.5 inches by the width of the fabric. Next, I will need to cut the red fabric. I will need 3 strips that are 2.5 inches by the width of the fabric. Then I will need 3 strips that are 3.5 inches. I will set the remaining fabric to the side. Then I will cut the fabric for the back of this project. Finally, I will cut the striped fabric. I will first need to size it. It needs to be 40 inches by 48. Then I will cut the first 10 inches from the left side. Then I will cut 5 inches from the first one to make 3 sections. Next, I will sew the 2.5 by 48 inches of the blue fabric to the 5-inch band of the striped fabric at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. I will sew this on both sides. Next, I will rotate the striped piece around and then sew the remaining striped pieces to the previous piece on the blue side. Now I start on the blue border that goes all the way around the fabric. To start, I will sew the 2.5 inch by 48 inch strips to the side of the fabric. Then I will sew the 3.5 inch by 47 inch pieces to the top and bottom. Next, I will sew on the red border. First, I will do the 2.5 inch by 54 inch stripes to the sides. Then I will sew the remaining stripes to the top and bottom. The next step is mildly complicated. I will start by sewing the large main seam for the back of the project. Then I will start laying the fabric pieces and the batting together. Then I will sew along the lines of my previous seams, doing a technique called sewing in the ditch or top stitching. This will hold everything together. Finally, I will bind this all together using the leftover red fabric from earlier. First, I will cut the pieces into 2.5 inch strips. Then I will sew them together at an angle so that it is all one long piece of fabric. After that, I will press the seams and trim them. Then I will sew all this together with the right sides, making sure to miter the corners. Then I will fold this over the edge and top stitch.
Now you have a finished product. If you would like to see my finished product, you'll have to wait until I post a short after my mother's birthday. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time!